Great seeing my next guest back in action. He's now going to be fighting at UFC 265 on August 7th against Anderson dos Santos. It's Miles Johns back here on the program. Miles, how's it going?
Yes, sir. I'm doing well. How you doing?
Doing great. Like I mentioned, supposed to fight a few weeks ago. Does not end up happening due to a COVID situation. Just first, how happy are you to get this fight rebooked? Because sometimes when a fight's canceled, you don't necessarily get the same opponent next time out.
Yeah, I was super happy to get it rebooked, and so quickly. It's been a different challenge for me, having it like having the fight camp just extended like that. But I'd rather it this way than anything else, So I was super excited to have the same opponent and get it booked so fast.
Was there talk of another opponent at all, or was the plan always to reschedule it?
Yeah, there was talk of a couple different other opponents. Actually, I thought that Khalid Taha and somebody in that fight was going to be out, and so we were going to fight, I think his name's Sergey, for a second. So we were looking at that. We're like, okay, we'll do that. And then there was another fight that came up, and we were going to do that one as well. But that one, it was either like the week after or in 3 weeks. And we would rather do 3 weeks so I don't have to make weight twice, 2 weekends in a row and stuff. So that one fell through, and it ended up just being the same opponent. And but yeah, it was kind of chaotic there for a second. It was kind of a situation where just like, hey, we just want to fight. It doesn't really matter who, and let's just get this done. So.
How tough is that when you have a fight that's lined up? You can't, you're not ready. Obviously, the fight's off, and then you have to reset things. Like, how do you go about doing that without obviously overtraining or, kind of making yourself in prime position for this fight on the 7th?
Yeah, it's just like we just try to land the plane on the runway at the right time each time, So I was really ready to fight. And so then after that, my coaches kind of just wanted me to take my mind off of it for a second, stay on the diet, stay doing my stretching and stuff, maybe like a little moving around in that, but just enjoy a little bit of time with family for a couple of days and take myself out of the fight. And we had a pretty nice Airbnb in Vegas, so that helped out and stuff, just swimming and things like that. And then ease back into it, work on some of the technical things that we still wanted to kind of work on a little bit, and then get it going again. So I'm feeling great now. Really, it's just like fine-tuned me, and the type of athlete I am to be able to go there, live in the fight, get to see him, face to face, and do everything except the fight, then get back and get right back to it has been awesome. It's like when you go into a fight, even if you did everything you possibly could, there's still like always going to be a couple things that you're like, oh, if I would have, well, just kind of like a test, or anything you do in life. So having that feeling and then getting to go back and work on those things has been awesome.
Your opponent, 21-8 record, a lot of experience coming into this fight. How do you feel like stylistically you match up against him here?
I feel like stylistically I match up really well. I think that he's tough. I think he comes forward. I think that he's game. He's not afraid to get hit. Maybe gets hit a little bit too much. And I know he likes to wrestle, and I know he's good on the ground, but usually with guys like that, I have a pretty good outcome. So I think stylistically it's a really good fight for me and the fans.
Who did you mainly get to work with for this camp? Same cast of characters, your brother, sort of Steven Peterson, those types of guys over at Fortis?
Yeah, and I've been Fernie Garcia has helped me a ton for this camp. Honestly, he's been a great asset to the team and stuff. And then I even was working with a couple guys that we have a ton of UFC guys in there, but sometimes it's not always about that. I pulled in a couple of the guys, like the amateur guys who have a ton of experience, but just haven't like fought pro. Ian, who's getting ready to make his pro debut, has been helping me out a lot. We just have a room full of guys. Saad Awad, who's fights in Bellator. He helped me out a lot. Abdul Sawadi helped me. Damon Jack. I mean, just like so many guys with whatever we need, whatever day, we got guys that are going to be there that we can pull from. So it's just been a huge blessing. And I am trying to we have a couple guys that are really good. They've been fighting for like almost a decade, and they just don't have the pro fights. Maybe they don't want to fight like that, or they just love training. But some of these guys are good, So it's about like dropping the ego, knowing who you can trust, and pulling people in. And just because don't have UFC next to their name, that doesn't mean they can't give you great work. So that's been something I've really been focusing on for my past couple fights, honestly.
Yeah, and it's something I've been hearing a lot in gyms because, again, like you mentioned, not to say everyone's like this, but you got guys that are a little bit more hungry because they're not on that UFC level yet, right? So you're going to get guys, and not only that, you're going to get different looks. I mean, a lot of these UFC guys, you're familiar with them, you're used to them. When you get sort of an amateur and up-and-comer coming in, it really adds a lot of variety to the camp. So you're not the first person I've heard say that. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. And plus, it's good to give them, nice shine like you've done here in this interview. I think that's great. So
yeah, for sure.
Because once upon a time, you were the prospect, Miles. I remember talking to Steven Peterson and whoever, right? And you were the up and comer, so it's cool.
Exactly, I've been there. So
how's the weight cut going now? Because obviously you had to reset things.
It's going good. I just I didn't want to get up too high or anything like that. After weigh-ins, I always try to keep it clean anyway, and then going into the fight's really not over. A lot of people kind of rest after weigh-ins, but I mean the fight's still on, So for me, it's not over until after the fight. So I didn't let myself blow up or anything, and now it's just kind of maintaining. It's really in a better state than it was before, previously the first time, because it was like kind of getting down. Now I can just kind of keep it down with a little more calories, so it's not too bad.
Imagine Safe's going to be in your corner. Who else will be in the cage with you that night?
Yeah, Coach Safe, my strength conditioning, and I mean lots of other things. Coach Mike Scacia, and then I'm gonna bring Fernie in too. My little brother, he's in my corner usually every time, but he had a prior engagement that weekend and stuff with a close friend of ours, family friend and stuff, and I just didn't want to pull him away from that. It's kind of I heard I see Kamaru Usman and his brother do that. And sometimes he's in there, sometimes he's not. It was kind of a superstition thing, but I'm over superstitions now too, man. I've taken an L and stuff. There's no you never know what's gonna happen. So it's just kind of like a power thing to know that you don't need anybody there. Either way, I'm gonna go and fight. So last time in Houston too, I had a ton of support, a ton of family and stuff there. Not as many people are able to make it this time. It's kind of a low key thing, with the change and everything. But I like that because it's just going there to handle business. I feel like I not only have business to handle with Anderson, but I also have some redemption to do in Houston. It's been anytime anybody says Houston, it's the first thing I think of. So just getting goosebumps talking about it right now, thinking about the whole thing. So yeah, we're just coming, just me and my wife, my sons, and then Fernie's going to be in my corner there supporting me. And we're going there to handle business and head right back. And that's it. How's
this fight playing out on August 7th?
I see it happen in a lot of ways, but I see him coming in pretty aggressive and getting caught with some shots trying to come in. I see me starting to pick him apart and either dropping him on the feet or he's going to take some dumb shots and I'm going to choke him out. So it's going to end in a finish. It's going to be he's going to come, but yeah, it's going to be a fun fight.
We just had the UFC card on the weekend, and big fight in your division, TJ Dillashaw and Sandhagen. I was curious. I'm assuming you watched the fight. How did you score that? Because some people felt like maybe that should have gone to Corey, but wanted to get a bantamweight's take on it.
Yeah, I thought Corey won on the scorecards, but I thought that he kind of let TJ take it from him. Just his approach and stuff. If TJ was going in there, he had that dog in him. And he was just chasing him down the whole time. And one of the judges were messed up, score-wise. Maybe they just saw that TJ wanted it more and was pushing for it, so they gave it to him. But, yeah, it was kind of a crazy night of fights and judging that night. So I thought Kyler Phillips won too, but yeah.
And another past opponent got a big win on that card as well, Adrian Yanez. I was going to ask you about that because you guys fought a while back, and talk about wins that have aged well. I mean, he's doing quite impressively in your division. Do you sort of pay attention to past opponents that you fought?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, it's nothing but love there, really. Yeah. Out of all the guys I fought, Adrian and Levi Miles have been my two favorites. It's just as people, really. Nothing against any of the other guys. So I like to see him having all this success and all this hype and stuff. Part of me, the egotistical part of me, wants to be like, hey, I beat this guy, I beat him again. But at the same time, I'm just being patient. I'm just focusing on my journey, my career, and I want him to keep going up. And I have a feeling we'll meet each other in the future. Both of us are going to be top 15 guys after too long. And I think that we'll meet each other in the future sometime.
Want to get one more in this year, you think, or is it kind of cutting it too close with this fight being on the 7th?
I would do one more for sure. God willing, I have no injuries or anything. I would definitely do one more. Just get a little bit of time with the family and stuff like that. But other than that, I'm ready to roll. We've been staying ready, and it's been nice. Weight's good, everything like that. Cardio's always on point, so whenever they call, I'll be ready.
Whenever you call or I call you, you're always ready, man. I appreciate you taking the time, Miles. Always great catching up with you, man. It's going to be UFC 265 coming up here on August 7th. Anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media you want to plug? I'll give you the last word.
You guys I appreciate you following me on social media, Miles X Johns on Instagram. And I just want to give a shout out to my boy Uriah fighting in the main event this weekend. Dude's been grinding super hard. We've been putting in work on Sundays for the past, 5-6 months, so I'm really looking forward to all his work paying off, and we'll be thinking about you, brother.